it would always be somebody like big lit name. And then I was like, I like Percy Jackson by Rick Riordan. And everyone was like, shut up. Why are you in this degree?
Hello. Welcome back to that Pretentious Book Club.
That Pretentious Book Club.
I'm your host.
Did you almost forget your name?
Yes.
Well, everybody, hey, I'm Wheezy. I didn't forget my name.
Oh, so now you're so high.
Wait,
and mighty.
is that my real name? What's my real name?
Your real name?
Yeah.
Your real name is Ash O'Rourke.
O'Rourke. Ash O'Rourke, right. Okay, got it. And you're...
You tell me.
Have we met before?
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you.
Oh, hi, it's nice to meet you.
Wait, no, I'm not Wheezy.
You still don't know your name.
I don't know my name.
That's Kendall Shaw.
I'm Kendall Shaw.
My cousin, for all intents and purposes.
Uh-huh.
So, Dr. Palermo, I think we established that was your proper title, your accredited title.
That's correct. Thank you for remembering.
Yeah, I got you. I got some shade last time for just saying Miss Palermo, and it should have been Doctor.
I put some respect on my name.
Put some... Oh my God. My husband says that all the time because he's in the army. So if someone says his name without his rank, he'll go, put some respect on that. It's doctor to you. It's doctor to you.
Hey, it's Dr. Palermo. That's right.
I'm just wheezy. Oh, good. I need a doctor. I've asked.
Oh my God. We didn't think about the connection there.
No, we didn't. Okay, so Dr. Palermo, what are we going to talk about today on this podcast?
Today, I'm very excited that we'll be talking about The Siren by Kiera Cass. And The Siren is... Well, you're going to explain what it is.
Oh, am I going to? Oh, yeah. So I'm going to give the summary.
Yeah.
Oh, let me go back to my other page. Also, welcome to That Pretentious Book Club.
Well, yeah, I said that in my ASMR voice.
Did you?
But
Oh, you did, didn't you? We whispered at
might
each
not have
other through
heard.
the microphones. We were being really quiet, so if you didn't hear us, it's okay.
What if we did the whole podcast like this?
A lot of people would hate us, and a lot of people would love us.
It's true.
I think the creepy people would love us the most. Excuse my dine. Anyways, so episode 2.
You need a doctor?
I need... Spoons, you know me so well. So we're going to be talking about The Siren in this episode by, like Dr. Palermo said, Kiera Cass, whose name I just now learned to pronounce when she said it, because I never said it out loud. Spoons is a longtime Kiera Cass fan, if I'm correct.
I am.
Yeah. I have only read this book by her, which is, I know is wrong, because as a YA book lover, that means young adult books, by the way, for those of you who don't know, you'd think I would have read some of her stuff. It's all in, like, the best-selling section of Barnes & Noble. It's always, like, right up front in the YA section, and I've been like, it's too trendy. I can't read it.
Too pretentious for Kiera
No, honestly,
Cass.
what it is it's that that pretentious book club. Hey, it's true. Well, it's always a girl in a ball gown on the cover, I feel like, and I'm like,
that's the vibe.
That's the vibe. And I was like, I don't think that's my vibe.
Right. I get you.
Which is crazy, because I also think that we should all get to wear evening gowns and ball gowns every day. And I think that should be accepted.
Much more often than we do, which
Absolutely.
is never.
Which is never. The only time I got to wear my wedding dress, that was it. That's the only...
Exactly.
I didn't go to prom or anything. Like, I've never gotten to wear pretty dresses. And I think people should get to wear pretty dresses much more often than just prom.
I feel like an idiot for not buying the biggest ball gown I could for prom. Right. What was I thinking?
Right.
Did I think I was going to get to go to galas?
I think you and I... Did I just get red lipstick on my white shirt?
You
I definitely did. That's okay. Sorry, guys. I need something to drink. How about... Oh, I know. Some whiskey. I don't know where my flask is.
Did you drink all your tea?
I think it's my only liquid that's within reach.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, well, I guess I'll have to have some whiskey.
You can waterfall my water.
Some water and whiskey. Here, I'll pour some into my teacup.
Okay.
You guys, wait, here, I'll do it for the microphone so you guys can hear it.
Ooh, this really is an ASMR episode.
Yeah, ready? Okay, onto the dredges of the tea left with a bit of whiskey in it. Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, is that nice?
That was nice.
Nice.
I had to adjust my glasses.
Here you go. Thank you for the water.
You're welcome.
what it is that we just recorded our first episode. We're doing these back to back, so I laughed so much hearing us. Like we listened through a few minutes of the podcast to be like, are we as funny as we think we are? And no, we're not. We're even funnier than we thought we were. So now I
God, our one listener left after that.
Mom, come back.
Mom, please. I'm sorry.
Mom, I'm hungry. When you come back, could you like pick up some food? Oh, I'm gonna drink this now.
Okay.
I laughed so much at how funny we were that now I can't speak. So Spoons is a Kiera Cass fan.
I am.
I'm a mermaid fan.
Yes.
And that's what I need to say first and foremost, because I have a few things, and that's the biggest thing. And I know mermaids and unicorns are trendy now, but I was trendy first. Before, when mermaids were still a weird thing. Like, we were still, mermaid enthusiasts were still grouped with, like, the UFO enthusiasts. At the point in time when I became obsessed with mermaids. I had a fishnet above my bed that I had put giant seashells and sea sponges in. Mm-hmm. I make mermaid tails, swimmable mermaid tails with a working monofin in the bottom and fabric. And now you can get silicone tails. Now it's so trendy. There's like a whole mermaid subculture, and I would love to get a silicone tail, but they're very expensive.
Yeah.
But I would love to be a part of it. But now it's also like you go to like Claire's or Icing's, and there's like these like bright blue and pink shiny mermaid stuff. And I'm like, no. Everybody should have to glue seashells onto their notebooks like I did as a child. Do you remember the phase in my childhood where I hot glued seashells onto all my ponytails? And I would put like one on like Katara style on either side of my face. Yes. Yeah.
But can I just jump in real
quick? I
would
love for you to jump in.
Ash is, and listen, of course we're not gatekeeping mermaids here. It's great that people love mermaids now.
Yes, I'm so glad.
But Ash was the original mermaid.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. It's not that I don't want other people to join.
Yeah.
It's just that everyone is forgetting how many of us existed. There weren't a lot of us, but some of us existed.
You were
first.
Proud. You were strong.
I was proud.
You were fighting the good fight.
I was fighting the good fight before anybody else knew the fight existed.
So yeah. So if you're wondering why we went from Pride and Prejudice, an esteemed classic, to The Siren, a young adult novel that a lot of people probably have not read, it is because I love Kiera Cass and Ash loves mermaids. And it was just the perfect blend of that we can talk about this.
Yeah,
you know?
We can definitely. We're going to try and record 2 episodes back to back. So we were like, we need to do books that at least one of us knows well.
Yeah.
So I had already read The Siren, but I didn't know it well. So I had to reread it. And I think Spoons here reskimmed it because she does know it well. And I made her read Pride and Prejudice because I thought when we picked it, she'd already read Pride and Prejudice. But if you want to hear about that rage, you can listen to episode 1.
Well, and also I think that it's important that we mention early on that we kind of want to diversify the reading list here. You know, it's not going to be all classics.
Because listen, I came across this a lot in college. So to Grand Canyon University, GCU lopes up all of my like 8 people in my English Lit degree before they phased out our degree. I remember when I told you my favorite book was Percy Jackson, and you looked at me like I was super dumb, because every single time it would have like an icebreaker, which I hate icebreakers, by the way. Who the hell doesn't? Every single time it'd be like American Lit 101 or whatever, and then the professor would be like, okay, everybody, we're gonna go around and share what your favorite book is. Every single lit class did this, and then everyone would be like, oh, it's this Dickens book. Oh, it's Jane Austen. Oh, it's Charlotte Bronte, is that her name?
Yes.
Actually, I haven't read Bronte, which I should.
Oh, we will. We will be doing it.
Yeah, and or like some like other like random name, like who wrote Anna Karenina?
You know, the guy.
The guy, yeah. The guy with the name that's hard to pronounce.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. It would always be somebody like big lit name. And then I was like, I like Percy Jackson by Rick Riordan. And everyone was like, shut up. Why are you in this degree? You are not pretentious enough for it. But boy, have I proved them wrong.
Yeah.
With my pretentious podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I remember all y'all, just so you know.
Yeah.
Where was I going with this?
So the point I think you're trying to make is we enjoy YA. We enjoy things that are not.
We like many things that are not just classic literature.
Exactly.
In fact, I think probably 80 to 90% of my reading list is not classic literature.
Yeah. And
we understand that it's not for you guys either. So we're not.
Everyone likes a lot of different things.
And that's okay.
So anyway, if you haven't read The Siren,
you should. It's actually a quick read. It's one of those few books that's not part of a series. It's a standalone. So if you're like, I just don't have time to take on a whole new series, or like I've many times in my life been like, I can't afford to buy a whole freaking series, so I can't start this book. This one you can.
Yeah.
It's a standalone, and it's short, insanely
quick,
good. And listen, it's a little bit like it's a little bit like the Little Mermaid story. It's got the thing where she can't speak, but this is the first and only Little Mermaid spinoff that I am all for. It's not cheesy at all. It's amazing. It's still somehow totally original.
Yes.
I have read many mermaid books, and listen,
He's
love
an expert, you guys.
I am an
he
expert.
knows what he's talking about.
Mermaid literature. That's my expertise. And most of it is very bad. It's hard to write convincingly about mermaids.
Yeah.
As a child, I read Emily Winsnap, that series. I don't know if you did.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. By Liz Kessler.
It's a good one.
If you have children who you're like, I don't know if they'll like to read. And if they're probably more towards girls than boys because it's a girl main character. So I know for me as a kiddo, I was not going to read anything where it was a dude main character. Unless it was super funny.
Unless it was Percy
like
Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, if it's really well written, go for it. But if you have a little girl who's like not really into reading or something, I guess any kiddo. But I'm picturing a little girl because I was a little girl when I got into it.
If you have a kid who likes
mermaids or the ocean.
Or mermaids.
The Emily Winsnap series. It's like children's like middle grade probably.
Yeah, it's middle grade.
Probably more middle grade. But oh my God. And as a kid, I wrote to the author Liz Kessler. And she wrote back to me. Like I wrote her a letter, like an actual mail letter. And then I was like, she never got it. And like 6 months later or something, or maybe it was like a year later, she was like, oh, I was on holiday. And I got a letter back and it was the best thing ever. And that's probably where my mermaid obsession truly, truly started, was with the Emily Winsnap series.
Oh, cute. Well, let's be clear. The Siren isn't about mermaids.
No, it's not. It's about sirens.
Yes, but it's same vein.
Very much the same vein. It's very much felt like a mermaid book, but a mermaid book done totally convincingly, which is hard to do. Same with fairy books. It's hard to do.
Yeah, like, fairy books.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I want to read more fairy books.
There's not a lot. Okay,
but I also don't want to read like I don't know. The fae are kind of assholes a lot of the time.
Dude,
you know,
I'm writing a book right now with the fae.
Oh yeah,
but we don't call them that because they don't like to be referred to at all. Shh. Okay. I don't want them to hear me because they might make my computer break down.
They're gonna make me delete the recording.
Yeah. I'll leave a thimble of jam outside my door tonight.
There you go.
It'll be fine. But anyway, so yeah, the Siren, Spoons is right. It's not about mermaid, it's about sirens. One siren in particular, the Siren.
My baby.
And it's amazing. And I know that I'm supposed to do the summary, but I'm not ready for that yet, so...
Okay, do you want me to talk about Kiera?
No, first I want you to give me some more personal background on your life, because we have it on our little docket to talk about our personal lives.
Some more background on my life, okay.
No, tell me what do I not know about you, Spoons? Oh, tell me a secret.
A secret?
Tell me a secret.
Okay, are you promising not to tell? I don't even know if I have a secret, dude.
I won't. Okay. It'll be just between you and me and our listeners.
Okay.
Hi, Mom.
All three of us.
Yep. Mom, you can't tell anyone.
Mom, don't tell.
Mom, don't. You can't tell.
I like how we keep saying mom as if it's like we have one mom.
Well, you're talking about your mom and I'm talking about my mom.
Okay, so there's
maybe it's
four of us.
Moms, don't tell. Aunt Jen, Mom.
Okay, I don't think I have a secret, but I can tell you like what I've been up to.
Well, we went through all of that secret keeping pressure for nothing. Tell me a secret.
I don't know.
It's fine, I guess. Okay, here's one. I'll ask you a question that that's probably been a secret because you probably haven't talked about it. Okay. Did you ever, like, underwater try and sing like a mermaid and think that you were luring sailors to their death? Because I did a lot.
I'm sure I've tried that. I did used to think like,
or stand in your backyard when it was like a quiet day and nobody else was around, you didn't think anyone could hear, and you were like, ooh, like trying to like lure someone to their death. Because I have
I would have done it in the ocean. Yeah,
in the ocean,
but not just like in my backyard. But I used to
am I weird? I thought everyone must have done that.
Oh yeah, you are weird, but
that's news to me.
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a part of you when you're little that's like, okay, but I could be a mermaid, you know?
It's like, but I could be though.
I could.
Well, who here watched H2O? Just add water.
Oh, me. I'm raising my hand.
No ordinary girl. I made all my college roommates. They were like, "What are you making us watch?" And then we watched the series a second time though because they liked it that much. Except the second time we were always like, "Oh, Cleo."
Cleo.
Cleo. I have a friend. Hey, Leela, what's up? Leela is Australian, and sometimes she says stuff, and I think about H2O because I'm like, because she goes like, every time she doesn't say no, she's like no, and I'm like,
that does sound
Cleo.
Cleo.
Who's a character from H2O if you haven't seen it. I don't know. I heard that, so to sound British, I heard that like apparently like they use their tongue less when they speak. So if you try and speak without moving your tongue, you kind of come off sounding British. And I'm like, well, then what the hell do the Australians do?
I don't know, dude.
Because it's like their ovaries. They're like, no.
Yeah, it seems like it's
harder. It's harder.
It's a very hard accent. Cause
it's adorable.
It's so cute.
It is amazing.
Name one accent cute. Well, there's quite a few, but
there's a lot of cute accents. My mom has a thing for Australian accents though. Like if you like Siri, Alexa, whatever it is, you can change the voice on. She'll change it to an Australian man, and she's like, "Say that
again." My Siri is an
turn
Irish
left,
woman.
and she's like, "Yes, Siri, what was that?"
Oh, Siri, can you say it one more time?
Turn left.
I didn't quite hear you, Siri. Oh, turn left. Oh, that's so funny. Like,
Oh my god.
oh my god, Siri.
Say it again.
H2O was a good show. I mean,
I'm about
is it good? I don't know, but it's good. You know what I mean?
I agree. I mean, Lewis though. But then Zane was a bad boy, and I was about. I really like Ricky as a person.
Yeah, I like Ricky too.
Could really relate to her. I got the second time I watched it, Cleo's character kept like making the dumbest choices. So we'd be like, "Oh my god, Cleo, stop!" Like that was, I think, the entire reason that me and my college roommates disagreed to watch the series a second time after. Okay, for them it was the second time. For me, it was probably the 20th time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was just because we all wanted to go, Cleo, stop! In every single episode.
Oh, here's something I did do when I was little. Because of H2O, I was constantly like thinking, could I make it as a mermaid, like with them?
Yes.
Like anytime I would get wet.
I still think about that.
Yes, I'd be like, well,
every time,
I'd be a
like,
mermaid now.
I'll like walk by and like a sprinkler will like barely just a single drop of water, and I'm like, I would be a mermaid.
Exactly. That's what they did. They got in your head. Like,
that's
yeah,
exactly.
You're
like,
mermaid now.
Now I have a fear of water.
Right?
And I was so into like, I would watch videos about how like they made the H2O tails, and now they have silicone tails and stuff. Yeah. But like that was like the first of the first, besides Aquamarine, which was really the first of the first.
Oh,
but that one they had like a whole different mechanical tail on top of the one that she wore in the water. So I definitely put blue streaks in my hair like Aquamarine as well.
Oh yeah.
My childhood was the Aquamarine movie and the Nancy Drew movie.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Nancy Drew movie was everything to me.
It was
I used to want to be her. I wanted her spy gear. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, I know. I wanted all of her cute vintage clothes.
Oh yes.
Which another shout out to Leela. Leela, my sweet Australian friend, has the best style in the world. She's so vintage, so cute all the time.
That's adorable.
Hi Leela. I hope she listens. Then we'll have 3 listeners with both of our moms and Leela listen.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. No.
No.
Not getting it. Okay, that feels sufficiently personal. I feel like I didn't write really any secrets out of you, but
I've seen
personal.
This week because I was like couch ridden.
Uh-huh.
I read Pride and Prejudice,
couch ridden, for those of you who didn't listen to episode 1 like a bunch of weirdos.
Oh yeah, my leg is destroyed. So
she slipped on the ice.
I slipped on ice and my kneecap is
the winter storm of 2021 in Texas was very dangerous in a lot of ways.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, now I'm on the couch, but I have watched almost all of River Phoenix's movies now.
Oh my god.
I have 3 left.
Oh my god.
One of them is a TV movie from 85.
Spoons, why don't you tell me really quickly about your Keanu marathon?
I would love to.
You don't even know how beautiful that sounded in my ears. That was like honey in my ears.
Whoa. Well, okay. Yeah, because really River Fiend Flicks, which is what I'm calling it.
Oh my god.
Only came about because of Keanu Fun. So Keanu Fun occurred. I've been a lifelong Bill and Ted fan, and after the 3rd movie came out, I was like really just in that headspace of, why don't I watch more of his movies? Because I've seen a lot because my dad loves Keanu.
My mom, along with Australian men, loves Keanu.
And Heather loves Keanu.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Keanu's great.
Keanu is great.
And so anyway, I was just like, you know what? I want to watch Dracula because I'd heard it's kind of funny. And so I watched Dracula, and then
none of this background justifies your insane Keanu.
No, this is insane. I recognize fully. And then I just kept watching them, and it didn't help
never
that
stop.
My friend Peyton, I started with Peyton, and then also my other friend Logan from college.
You have other friends? Spoons? You're not allowed to have other friends. I'm your only friend.
I made them up. They're not real.
Oh, I feel better now.
Okay.
I have a lot of imaginary friends too.
Peyton was also super, like, because she loves Bill and Ted also. So we were in it together, and we were just watching Keanu movies for fun. And then after I had watched a couple, I was like, what if I just watched all of them? And I did. And it took me 4 months. And I watched every single Keanu Reeves movie, some of them multiple times.
Oh my God.
I watched I Love You to Death, which is a 1990 comedy film starring Kevin Kline, Tracy Ullman, William Hurt, Keanu Reeves. Also, River Phoenix is in it. Joan Plowright. Anyway.
Do you see me like glaze over? Because I don't know any celebrities' names. I know Keanu, and that's it.
It's a
and
comedy.
Matthew McConaughey. Hi, Matthew.
Oh, yeah. She's got a Matthew thing.
All right.
All right. Well, anyway, I watched that one 6 times. But
oh my God.
I have seen lots of them multiple times.
You kill me.
I watched
this was the dirty secret
movies.
I was looking for. I mean, it wasn't a secret to me, but most people are going to be like, oh my God, she did what?
Yeah. So I've watched 73 Keanu films. Including the bad ones and the ones that were like TV movies from the 80s.
It's definitely way more movies than I watch in like 2 years.
Yeah,
Maybe more.
I like watching movies. So anyway, and River was in 2 Keanu movies.
Oh my God.
My Own Private Idaho and I Love You to Death, which I previously mentioned. And so anyway, I was just like, and he was only in like 16 movies total. So this week I was like kind of feeling like watching more River movies, and I ended up just doing it. So anyway, that's what I've been up to.
Oh my God. That was amazing. Well, I'm so glad to hear that. And now I can't stall anymore because I know I'm supposed to give the summary for the Siren.
Wait a minute.
First, let me ask you a question. How do you pronounce the main character's name?
Kaylin.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes.
So that one was right, but I'm sure the other pronunciations I'm going to go for aren't.
The boy is a Kinley.
Oh, I got that one too, actually. Okay. I did write on 2. I was like, what is that sound? It's Henry.
My puppy.
It's her sweet puppy. It's a clippity cloppity clippity. It's his little feet walking around. I heard it before and I was like, am I hallucinating? May I have one of your tissues?
Yeah.
Oh, I know I'm asking you to reach it like you can't.
Oh, no. I can't now.
Tell them what happened, Spoons.
I tried to hand her the tissues and they just...
And then I slapped them out of her mouth.
They fell on the ground where neither of us could reach them. Great.
I asked the GIMP for help, and here we are. Okay, so a summary of the Siren, which I should have written down. So the story starts out with kind of a flashback into Kaylin's life. Her and her family are on a cruise ship, I think, yes, and they're wealthy people. And then all of a sudden, her mother starts to hear sound, and they all go outside to the ship, and everyone's basically throwing themselves off the boat with a smile on their face. They're all clearly entranced. And so Kaylin also goes underwater, and all of her family is dying. Everybody on this cruise ship is dying. And the Ocean, who is a character in this, who I have a lot to say about later, has asks her basically if she wants to live or die. And so, of course, she wants to live. And so then these 3 other girls pop up. I think it's 3 at the beginning.
I think so.
Pop up. And this is very cool. They're on top of the water, which is wild to me. Because I like that more than trying to have them all talk underwater. Mm-hmm. That's always bugged me. So that's better. So they're on top of the water, and they basically say, look, you can either, join your family in death, or you can become a siren. And that means that you're going to sing with us when the ocean needs to feed, which is by eating people.
Oh, yeah.
The ocean drowns people and then eats them.
It's pretty sick.
It's awful. Apparently, she gets hungry and she has to have these sacrifices to continue to function so that the world can continue to function because we need the ocean to live. And anyways. So, Kaylin agrees to sing to people, to be a siren, to join these girls and to murder them. So then fast forward, so they're in contract for, 100 years, right?
Yes, I believe so.
They're in contract for 100 years, and then at that point, they get their memory wiped, and they get to go and rejoin society. So they get their lives back. So we jump back to the rest of the text. That's just like basically the prequel-ish thing they throw in at the beginning. And she has 20 years left. She's been a siren for 80 years. She has sung to many, many ships, and many people have died. And, oh, what up, Carissa Harlow? I just got a notification on our That Pretentious Book Club Instagram that Carissa Harlow, one of my sweet, sweet friends from college, also an English lit major, probably going to be our, fourth listener?
Yay!
Carissa! Just accepted my follow request. Oh. Not that she followed me, that she accepted my follow request.
Oh, that's how we do it around here.
Yeah, for real. We'll just follow every single person that we want to listen to our podcast until
good
they
idea,
do.
Yeah.
And then we'll call them personally, and then we'll show up at their houses.
Hey, are you listening?
Hey, are you listening? Anyways, so back to the summary. I should not have looked at my phone. That distracted me. So she's got 20 years left on her contract. Many people have died. She's grieving over it. They do kind of, like, her and the other sirens do kind of engage in real life a little bit, but they're not allowed to speak because this is the big thing for the whole book. If somebody hears them speak, they will drown themselves. Mm-hmm. Happily, they will drown themselves. So they have to pretend to be mute. So Kaylin, I keep wanting to say Kiera because the author's name is Kiera Cass. So Kaylin, her thing that she likes to do, like some of the other girls, like they like to go like clubbing and party, and they just don't speak and stuff, and they have a good time. Kaylin, she wears these circle skirts. She's also very vintage. She's very vintage.
Well, because she's from a different time.
Because she's from a different time, exactly. And so she never really adapts. That's kind of her thing. It's different than the other sirens she's with. Is she really does not adapt?
Yeah. And
it's kind of the problem, but it's also what makes her her. So she goes and she sits at this college. They live in, where do they start at? In Florida, right? Mm-hmm. So there's this college town, and she'll go and she'll like sit under a tree and write, or, or go to the library a lot. At the libraries where she researches morbidly the people who have died, who she has murdered.
Yeah.
It's really awful.
I think that is like a crazy thing for Kiera to throw in there.
It was really crazy.
It's like, it's a cool detail. It's terrible to think about, but it's like, maybe, she would have so much guilt.
Yeah, she would have so much guilt. It's awful. But I don't know. I think she wrote Kaylin fairly realistically. So she's there one day, and this kid shows up. I did not like him at first. I want you to know my first impression of him was not positive. I was like,
oh my God.
Hi, why are you talking to me? It's like, I have a negative reaction in general when a man comes up to speak to me in public who I don't know. I don't care how young or how old you are. I'm like, why are you talking to me? Actually, it's not even just men. It's also women, but it's especially men. I don't like to be spoken to by strangers. Mm-hmm. So he comes up and he's talking to her, and I'm like, leave her alone. Like, why are you? I was something really protective of Kaylin, and he's like, he's being cute and sweet, but I'm like, he looks like in my head kind of like a surfer boy. Like he's got like blonde tousled hair or whatever, and I'm like.
No, I love him. No. Okay, I'll talk about it later.
I'm sure you do love him. That's the trend, is that I'm really judgmental of someone, and you're like, they're a sweet baby. And I'm like, I don't trust them at all. Anyways, so he is sweet though, because he kind of like tries to like engage her in a conversation, which is like not really used to. So they're also like, they're made like supernaturally beautiful when they become sirens. So they're used to like men being attracted to them and kind of hitting on them, but no one's ever really tried to hold like a conversation with her and engaged about like the book she's reading. He's like talking to her about it. It's about cakes, because her secret dream from the beginning is to get married and have kids, which is so sad.
I know, poor thing.
Yeah. So I totally just thought your cat was my cat for a second. That was really weird.
Just missing
I was
your
like,
cat.
Lily? What are you doing over here? Anyways, how's the summary going so far?
It's going great.
Okay, so
Kinley's talking to Kaylin.
Kinley's talking to Kaylin. She leaves and she's like, wow, that was an interesting interaction or whatever. Some other stuff happens, blah, blah. They run into each other again, and he asks her on a date, kind of, to bake a cake.
This is the cutest date.
It is the cutest date.
All time.
And I really, really like this idea. Boys, listen up. Stop doing the take your girl to dinner and mini golf, or dinner and movie. You're like, but mini golf's fun because you can do stuff while you're on it. You know how many times, and I have not been on a lot of dates because I don't like people. So that's why it should be shocking that like 90% of the dates I've been asked on have been to dinner and mini golf. It's not original. I've not even been on a lot of dates because I don't like them. But It's not original. It's cute and it's fun. Yes. Save it for a second or a third date, I want to say.
Yeah.
Because you could do something instead that's original and fun and is like actively doing something like a Kinley did.
Yes. Like, take her to your college dorm and bake a cake with her.
And bake a cake, and that's not a euphemism. Take her to your college dorm.
No, literally bake a cake.
Literally bake a cake.
He is so pure and cute.
He is so pure. And guys, that's sexy. Pure is sexy.
Oh my gosh, he's so sexy.
Not to sound like an abstinence tape that my mother played for me as a child. But pure is sexy because it's so sweet. There's no ulterior motive.
He was unexpectedly sweet.
He was unexpectedly sweet, yeah. The lack of an ulterior motive is what's sexy about the pure thing.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that a guy just wants to be around you because they like you. Because they like to talk to you and engage with you.
Cute. She's nice. I want to like hang
Yeah, he's
out
like,
with
I
her.
like hanging out with her. She's fun to hang out with.
And she wasn't even talking.
I know. And he really made the effort there. Like
he did.
He really, I think that was also what was so just charming about it, is because the effort really had to be all on his side. If he wanted to get to know her, he was going to have to put in the effort.
Yes, and he did.
And he did, and it was so sweet.
And he was like understanding and cute and
he
didn't
was
like
great.
cry too much.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I would have liked to see more of a Kinley's character in the book. I
Oh, me
feel
too.
like it was mostly about Caitlin, so we didn't get to see as much about him.
Yeah.
But
Caitlin is compelling as well. I like
She's
her.
definitely still compelling. Yeah. So they go on the date. She's like, "Oh no, I'm falling in love with this guy. We can't have a life together." And read in the background. This is the sound of his feet. Anyways, so she's like, "Well, there's no way we can have a life together even if I fall in love with this guy, because, you know, she's gonna have her memory wiped. So not only would he be super old by the time that, well, not how much time is she? He wouldn't be super old, but he wouldn't know who she was, and she wouldn't know who he was. So she basically packs up the other sirens and they move to a different coastal town. So this whole book is really them moving to different coastal towns for her to get away from McKinley, who she's deeply in love with.
And also, yeah, can we? No, I want to interrupt your synopsis.
So it's almost done because I know I'm missing a lot of stuff, but I'm not really good at
go
summaries.
ahead. We'll just get back to it.
So in that time, they get a new siren. Oh, so one of the sirens the only siren that was there before Kaylin, she leaves. Her contract is up. She first reveals a pretty big secret to Kaylin, which is that she had a daughter. And the ocean is kind of personified as like this mother boss figure, definitely a feminine figure. And she doesn't take wives or mothers because she feels that they are too committed to the people on land to serve her fully. So she never even, and she can kind of read their minds. So Kaylin never had any idea. Her name is Aisling, I think.
Yes.
Like the Irish spelling of Aisling. And she reveals to Kaylin when Kaylin's like, "I'm in love with this boy and I don't know what to do about it because the ocean is not for that. The ocean would never, ever let me." Aisling's like, "Well, I have a daughter." And the ocean never found out.
Boom! Mic drop.
It was amazing. So, and then she actually, I was so terrified because I couldn't remember what happened in the book. I was like, oh my God, does the ocean find out and like rip her away like right before she's about to like join the real world again? And no, she didn't, because I'm going to give you spoilers in my summary because I don't know how else not to. Yeah. So Aisling's contract ended. Her memory was wiped, which is so tragic. I hate amnesia. Can I just, I'll get into it later, but I hate it. So they put her in front of a boarding school and send her away. You know, gets her real life, but not her real life back, just a new real life.
Yeah.
So Kaylin's like, well, maybe I can just, you know, love a Kinley from afar like Aisling did with her daughter. And then she's like, oh, I can't do that. So they get called to drown a ship. Oh, sorry. First, I think they get a new siren, who comes from a very tragic background, and they do some questionable things later because of it. So they have a new siren. So Kaylin's she's super depressed. Most of the book is just her being just wildly depressed.
Kaylin is depressed.
Yeah.
Poor baby.
And it's her siren sisters not knowing what to do about it. And they all want to help. That's why they keep doing the moves and stuff. And they're trying to like get her to engage with other things. But she's just so sad. She's heartbroken because she loves someone she can't be with. Somebody who obviously loves her back. Yeah. So they get a new siren, and the ocean kind of picks this new sister to try and distract Kaylin, like to give her something else to do, and that does not work. So they're going to the next singing, which is where they all stand on top of the water in their beautiful salt dresses, which I have something else to say about later because it's amazing. And they sing, and they drown a ship. So they start to do that, but then Kaylin can't go through with it for the first, and that's the one rule is that, or the two rules is you can't speak to a human and you have to sing.
Yeah.
And the sirens have been killed before for not doing it.
Yeah, the ocean will kill them.
The ocean will kill them. But Kaylin is kind of the ocean's favorite.
Yes,
she's definitely the favorite child.
Favorite child
100%.
for sure.
Yeah. So Kaylin refuses to sing. And because that's right, because there's a bride. Because her dream is to be married, right? The ship that they drown is a cruise ship, and it's a person's wedding going on, and she sees the bride going into the water, and she just loses it.
Dude, it's like some dark stuff.
It is some dark stuff. Kiera Cass was darker
he doesn't pull punches.
than I remember. No. So Kaylin flees, and she washes up on the shores of coastal Maine, and I love that. And that's where Kinley is from. Yes! She washes up basically on his beach.
Yes.
And he takes care of her, and she still can't talk, and he's just like, what happened? And in the time that they haven't been together, Kinley's life has fallen apart. He never went back to school because his parents died.
And that was one of the saddest parts to me. Is
that
because
was so
he's
sad.
so full of life and like bright and happy at the beginning, and then when you see him again, he's like depressed and like changed, and it's so sad.
It's so sad. But you can see, like, as he spends even just like a day with her, he definitely kind of comes back to himself a little more, and they're just so good for each other.
They're sweet.
And then so they hang out together, and he's like, look, I know you're not a normal girl, and usually you're like, oh no, but he's like, that's okay.
I know.
And then he's like, let me take you away from this crazy world. Basically, he's like, my grandfather or whatever left me this I think it's his grandfather or something like that, left me this house on the coast on a sand beach in coastal Maine. And anyway, so she's like, we can do it. Yeah, sure. Like, she's thinking, I can do this. I just won't speak, and I'll just pop over to the ocean and be really secret about it, and I'll go, help with the singings while I have to. Mm-hmm. But then so then he kisses her, and she says, wow.
Kaylin!
No, he hears her voice, and she says, wow, and he immediately tries to drown himself. And so they're in the water, and she's trying to pull him back to the surface, and she can't without the ocean letting him go. So she like tells the ocean, like, I'll do anything you want. Like, she's like, I'll even like, drown 1,000 people, which is horrible, but I get where she's coming from.
Desperate.
She's definitely desperate. I can't say I would have done anything better, which is awful, but I mean, human nature.
We don't blame Kaylin.
We don't blame Kaylin. Basically, yeah, we don't blame Kaylin. And so she says, just let me save him. And the ocean does relent and lets her save him. But
I'm crying.
It's so funny. I'm doing a good summary.
No, you're doing great.
I do good summary. Mm-hmm. Hooray. So Kaylin rejoins the ocean, but the ocean is like real pissed that she ran away from home, basically. And she's really upset that like Kaylin is torn, like between her and a Kinley, but she keeps threatening to kill a Kinley, the ocean does. And then Kaylin's like, I'm not gonna love you if you do that. And the ocean's like, why don't you love me anymore? And she's like, because you keep threatening to kill the boy that I love. And so finally the ocean promises instead that she will protect a Kinley if Kaylin will be devoted to her. And also she has to serve now 50 more years. How awful I would just be like, I
know, when she was so close to being done.
So close to being done. Yeah. I'd be like, I'm not singing, take me away.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. So then strange things start happening with Kaylin. She's like trying to like devote herself to her life like for the ocean now, and just like, and not, just like give up on getting to be with a Kinley, and she still worries about him constantly. But she's like trying to like honor her bargain with the ocean. Sorry, making sure that we're coming through loud and clear. We are. So she starts to have like these weird symptoms, and basically her siren side is failing her. Her ability to breathe underwater, to like swim really fast, or to sing the song, it's just not working. Like, she doesn't have the ability to anymore. And then she gets really, really sick, and they're like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
And then her sisters sneak away to go check on a Kinley, and he's sick with the same symptoms. He's in the hospital and he's dying, and the doctors can't figure out what it is.
Yes.
And the ocean, I'm so mad because the ocean totally knew what was happening the whole time. Yeah. So basically, the ocean, Kaylin almost dies. We're getting towards the end of the book. You're like, they're just gonna die. They're just gonna die.
Yeah, it feels really hopeless towards the end.
It really does. Yeah.
I was like, whoa, the page count is getting smaller.
I know, and it's like no problems have been resolved at all.
Okay.
So the ocean is like, fine, I guess I have to, because I love her. Kaylin's like, you're a bad mom.
Yeah.
She is a bad mom, and she realizes, oh, I'm a really bad mom. That's why my other daughters don't like me. So she's like, fine, I'll do it. I'll make the ultimate sacrifice and give up my daughter, Kaylin, who she loves so much. And she basically like takes the siren juice.
Sure.
Ew, takes the siren juice out of her. And so she's a normal person again. And so she wipes her memory like she always does and then sends her back to coastal Maine. But she doesn't have her memories. And she's there, and Akinley's family remembers her, and they loved her, and they bring her into Akinley's room, and now Akinley's, he's going to get better because their health is linked. So now they're both going to survive. But Akinley's like in bed sick, and he is just like thrilled to see her because he loves her so much. And she doesn't remember him. But she knows his voice. And so that's like the one little ray of hope you get at the end of the book is that she knows his voice and she needs his voice. So they're definitely going to fall in love and be together. You're pretty much assured of that. But he doesn't remember her. And I'm leaving that on a downer because I felt like I was left on a downer. But she tries to leave you on an upper.
I mean, considering how messed up everything was, I think it ends pretty well. Like, Kaylin doesn't die. Akinley doesn't die. She doesn't have to deal with, like, the guilt of being a mass murderer.
Listen. I hate amnesia.
I know.
It's such a cop-out. And in this is the first case I've seen it used where it wasn't used as a cop-out, but I still hate it. Well, everything that they had is gone. What was the point of everything, all their other scenes together? They're disappeared. They're gone.
See, this is why Teen Beach Movie 2 is so frustrating.
Dude, I was just thinking about Teen Beach Movie because I love Teen Beach Movie. And yeah, you're absolutely, I don't want to bleep it out because it's more work for me, but I want to really, I want to use lots of profanity.
Exactly.
Oh, I hate amnesia. You can hear it now, right?
What, Henry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's clicking away. Henry. Sorry.
Looks like he's tap dancing.
I feel you. I just think that this book is, by its nature.
You like Kiera. You're gonna forgive Kiera because you love Kiera.
I always forgive her.
I can't.
A little bit
forgive her.
Melancholy.
I can never forget. Forget.
I will never get amnesia.
I will never forgive, nor will I ever forget about an author who gave a character amnesia. I will never, ever, 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 ever spoons.
Okay.
I was gonna save that for my least favorite part, but here we are.
Okay, so that's actually
summary's over, by the way. That was the end of the summary.
Well, should I talk about Kiera first before we get into the book, or should I mention her after?
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, now I want to talk about my queen, Kiera Cass.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I just give some personal? What?
I have to pee. We take a break. Okay. The tea and the whiskey is going right through me. Okay. I'm going to put us on pause real quick.
Okay. And we're back.
All right.
Okay.
After my stunning, really well summarized synopsis.
It was great.
I'll do better next time, everybody. I promise.
No, I liked it. It was great.
Lots of ramblings and uhs. Okay, so now you guys are done with the torture. Now you get to listen to...
Get ready for more ramblings and uhs, because, boy, have I got...
You have a personal connection with this author, though, don't you, Dr.
Well, not
Palermo?
one that she would recognize, but yes.
You never know. She could be like that one girl with the stunning hair. I remember.
I don't think anyone's ever described me like that.
I do. You have fabulous hair.
Aww.
It's so thick, and whenever you do it, it looks like perfectly like little like vintage like waves around your face.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, yes, it is true. I'm a Kiera Cass stan for sure. I love her. My first exposure to her was I read the Selection series, which I think she's most well known for.
I have not read it, but I know it's popular.
Yeah.
Too popular for me. Hair toss.
Well, let me tell you, it is excellent.
And
I was obsessed with them. I still kind of am. I think about them all the time. Kiera is so good at like the excellent like romantic one-liners. Oh my God.
You think so?
Yes.
I think I don't like romantic one-liners.
Well, not pickup lines, but
no, not pickup lines. I just don't think I like romantic one-liners.
Oh, well, that's not something I can relate to.
I think maybe that's why I can't relate about this. Is I'm like, I don't think that's a priority for me.
Oh my God, she's so good at them though. Well,
maybe
okay.
We'll see. Continue.
Her main. So so I love the selection. And I'm a huge fan. And then I also, so I had gone to a book signing for her when the third selection book came out. And I was stoked. It was so exciting. And I'm like in college at this point.
Right.
And
college.
I had met her.
Yes, I'm familiar.
I'm pretty sure I was.
However old you were.
Maybe I was a senior. Anyway, whatever. I met her in the like signing line, obviously, and then I also like asked her a question at the
What'd
thingy.
you ask her? What'd she say? Oh my god!
See, this is the bad thing about me, is because I want to talk to the author so bad that I will sometimes, and this also happened when I met Rick Riordan.
I've never met an author that I love.
Really?
Like my closest author interaction was when I wrote a letter to Liz Kessler as a child. Yeah.
Oh, we should. Okay, never mind. I'll talk about it later.
Yes.
But
yes.
I knew the answer to this because I'd watched an interview.
You asked her a question you already knew the answer to.
Yeah, because I couldn't think of another question.
Oh my god!
Because
Kendall.
we weren't like doing spoilers, and I was like, well, all my
Lord.
questions are spoilers. But I was like,
God.
I have to talk to Kiera. So I asked her what her favorite.
I have to talk to Kiera.
I asked her what her favorite dress on the cover of each book, like on the cover of the books, was, and she answered, and I was like,
the answer that you already
say. But.
I'd be so pissed.
Well, I didn't tell her that.
If I was an author and someone came up and asked me a question and they already knew the answer, I'd be like, the hell was that about? What was that for?
The only way she would ever know is if she now listened to me explaining.
Kiera, no! your fan here is a poser. At least I'm not a poser. I might not have read your book, but at least I'm not a poser.
Please, I love you.
She was too starstruck to come up with her own question.
I had to ask a question.
That kills me. I would have just not asked a question if I didn't have
Everyone
one.
else at that signing didn't know the answer.
So
I provided them with an answer.
Yeah, but don't act like that was your motive.
No, it wasn't my motive. It was entirely selfish. And then I met her again. Oh, also she answered
You met her
question.
twice?
Yes, I
did
met her
not know
twice.
that.
And she talked to me on Twitter.
She might
one
remember
time.
you.
I don't remember what. I remember what it was. Okay, my
I wonder how loud it was when you clapped.
I know. I'm so sorry. I just screamed and then clapped. But
I've laughed equally loudly. So.
My friend Catherine, she went to high school with me. She was a freshman. I was a senior, and she is an angel. And you know what? She loves books. Catherine, if you're listening, I love you. Anyway,
Carissa has a second personality. I named Catherine. Catherine is real scary.
Okay.
Hi, Carissa. Sorry.
That's okay.
Catherine, I'm sorry. And Kendall's Catherine, I'm also sorry. I'm really sorry.
Well, my Catherine went to...
Catherine with a C or with a K?
With a K. Okay. My Catherine went to a book... something like a book festival thing, and Kiera was there, and I'm a huge fan. So, and she yes,
you
and
haven't been clear enough about that.
Catherine knew about this and got Kiera to text me on her phone.
What?
Yes, Kiera texted me.
Oh my god!
And
wow, that is cool.
I was like starstruck. I was like freaking out. And then
Kendall starstruck is my favorite thing in the world. Kendall does starstruck better than anybody else has ever done starstruck.
It's just my constant state of being.
It's not hard, but when it happens, it's just you would think it is. Like you're always 100% starstruck or not starstruck at all.
It's true.
I'm like,
yeah, whatever.
It's fine.
Well,
except for at the Jonas Brothers concert where I lost my shit completely.
She did lose her shit.
I didn't think I could scream. I don't scream. I didn't think I could scream. I definitely
lost it.
I friggin' lost it.
What were you supposed to do? It was the Jonas
Brothers. Oh my god, we were all singing so loudly you couldn't hear the Jonas Brothers at all.
And I'm
oh my god.
It was so fun.
Joe, I've waited my whole life
She's
to see
a
you in
Joe
concert.
girl.
I mean, I love all of you. Jonas Brothers, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Gosh,
anyway, we love the Jonas
y'all were
Brothers.
amazing. Somebody told me once that like, oh, they weren't that good in concert as kids, and I was like, that can't be true. And they were definitely wrong because you guys were friggin' amazing.
They were amazing. Okay.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so Kiera texted me. So let's just keep it on track here. I essentially have had 3 Kiera interactions. Oh my God. My third and then I posted that on my Tumblr account.
I've had like 3 alien encounters.
Exactly. And she like responded to, okay, yes, I was a Tumblr user then. She responded.
You were totally a Tumblr personality.
My Tumblr.
I want to be a Tumblr personality, but I can't figure out how to make it work.
It's fine.
I have an account.
You're better off.
But I don't know how to use it.
Well, she responded to my Tumblr post and was like, "Oh, it's so nice to see the other side of these kinds of things."
Oh my gosh.
It was so nice. Anyway, I was like freaking out. And then my third one that is the most relevant is I went to a like book festival when the Siren was coming out. And
I think I heard about this.
Yes. And so I met her then also. And the line was super long. Because,
and you waited till the end.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And everyone had like...
Well, yeah.
Everyone had like all their selection books and stuff. And I did too. But because I knew it was like such a fast line, they were like, okay, like we're just going to take picks and go. Like they were telling everyone that. And I was like, I have to tell her how I feel about the Siren because I'd finished it that day.
Oh my God.
And so I was like freshly like traumatized.
That's
and so
hilarious.
as soon as I got to the front
How
of the
have
line,
you not had a podcast about books before now? I swear.
When I got to the front of the line, he was like busy and I was like, I'm sorry, I know you're really busy, but I just have to say I love the Siren. And she looked at me and she was like, thank you, because everyone was talking about the selection.
Oh,
and
that's funny.
I was like freaking out about the Siren. But I mean, I'm sure
so she might remember
she does
you.
Not, but anyway, she means a lot. She means a lot to me. Oh God, there was something else I was gonna say. Oh yeah, the Siren was she wrote the Siren before she wrote the selection.
What?
Yes, and she like self-published it. It wasn't.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
and so
nice.
that's why I also love the Siren, because I feel like it is such a good book.
It is a good
and
book.
the fact that no mainstream publishers wanted the Siren until after she wrote the selection is kind of like encouraging, because it's like,
absolutely.
listen, you can have an amazing book, and it's just like about timing.
I wrote a book right after college that I still think is like the best thing I've ever written, and I know because of the concept for it, no publisher, no literary agent will ever look at that stupid query letter twice until I have other readers first for a different thing.
Yes.
So even though I'm like, this is unarguably the best thing I've ever written, it will never ever be the first thing I publish.
Yeah. And that's just how it goes, I guess. I don't know.
You need a platform first. That's what they're all about.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad that she finally got her platform and now has the Siren.
The Siren, yeah.
She's great. She's really funny on like Twitter and Instagram. She's hilarious. Every year when Max and America are the main characters from the selection, every year on their birthdays, she'll like tweet something funny about it because she knows the fans are like excited.
That's adorable.
So
I really do love when authors like engage with their fans.
She's
That's so nice.
really sweet. Anyway, I love her.
Awesome. So that's your author tidbit?
That's my author highlight, yeah.
Oh, author highlight. Cool, I like it. Okay. So let's see what's next on our to-do list. We've done we'll call it a summary. We'll call whatever that was a summary. We've got an author highlights done. The main characters. I kind of also want to let you take this one because I can't pronounce their names.
Okay.
Tell me about some of the main characters.
Okay, we got Kaylin. She's our main character. We kind of talked about them a lot.
I don't relate to her a ton, which is I only bring that up because I usually do relate to and you would think that like in a book that's like kind of a mermaid book that I would be like, oh, I totally relate to the main character.
Yeah.
But than for her love of like vintage clothes, I didn't super relate. And I also don't just like vintage clothes. I like a lot of clothes. So it's not even like that's my one thing and it's the same. It's like I also like leather and torn clothing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Kaylin really in leather.
No.
Biker gear.
And sometimes I dress like a hippie. So
yeah, who knows?
Today I'm wearing jeans and a shiny shirt. Any Firefly fans out there? I got you. My shirt says shiny. It has a picture of Serenity on it.
And now it has lipstick
and
on
lipstick on it from the last episode when I like coughed into my arm.
Yeah.
Like I'm following the rules. If my outfit suffers, so what? I'm also wearing socks that have swans on them, which I didn't say in the last episode. I wore these in honor of Pride and Prejudice, which was the last episode we recorded, because my cover has swans on it.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you. Anyways, I don't super relate to Caitlin, so continue.
I don't know. She's very much her own person, but she's also, I think that it might be, sometimes it's hard to, And I don't feel like you have to relate to a character to like
not.
the book
I
or like
really
them.
like this book.
Yeah.
Even though I don't relate to her at all.
Yeah.
I think also like her main focus in life was she wanted to get married and have kids, and that's awesome. I have a friend like that. I think my friend Lauren, hey, what's up, Lauren? I think she could relate to this character a lot more because she's just like, she just wants a family. I mean, she's having her second kid now, and I'm so excited for them. Congratulations! I hope that's not. I hope you guys have told everybody. I'm not outing you, probably. But anyways, it's amazing, and I don't personally relate to that being like my one goal. Like I'm married, which is great, but I didn't think that was gonna. I was totally content to be alone for my whole life. Like I wasn't like, oh, I'm forever alone. I was like, I'm so good at being alone. I am so good alone. I will never marry someone until I'm happier with someone than I am by myself, which will never happen. And then I found Javi. Yeah. But and then we're planning to have like a kid at some point eventually. But like I can't relate to that being like the one thing that you want in life.
Yeah, but I also think, and that is like a big deal for her, but I also think that she's like, you know, she has this relationship with like her Siren sisters, and she also has this really interesting relationship with the ocean. That's what totally absorbed me, because I could relate to that kind of. I could relate to that. And like that is such, and while we're talking about main characters, we might as well talk about the ocean,
who is like, oh,
it is such an interesting, and that's one of the things why I really like about this book, because it's like, I don't know, that is such an interesting like original idea.
It is,
like, to have her be and like the ocean's like, like kind of personified as like a woman and like a mother, to have her be like a main character, and she's not, and you would think, oh, okay, then she's evil because she's having everyone.
She's definitely the antagonist, but she's not evil. She's not.
She's
and you would
complex.
think it's super complex, and it's, I mean, definitely props to Kiera Cass, because taking a character who drowns entire ships of people and somehow still not making her come off as straight up evil. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's just wild. That was so well done.
Agree.
She was just like a complex. I want a story about the ocean.
Yeah.
I would take that story.
That would be really interesting. Like, just throughout.
It was so like a dysfunctional family.
It was.
That's what this book was. The parts I related to were the dysfunctional family bits. I was like,
And the, because it's also like the relationship between Kaylin and the ocean is obviously strained, especially as you were talking about later, like how she's like, I'm just gonna murder a Kinley. Yeah. But it's also like there's a lot of like love there too. Like, Kaylin loves her.
Kaylin loves, and the ocean genuinely loves her too.
Yes.
So unless you've ever been in a relationship with someone where they continually hurt you, even though you actually have real love for each other, which does happen. Yeah. Like, it's so, it was just weird. It was like, this is alarmingly relatable in really alarming ways.
Yeah. And the, and I think that part of the reason why it's like the ocean kind of can embody that weird space is because it's like, she's not a person. She's an entity. She's like this ancient force. Exactly. You know, so we can't really expect her to have the same kind of brain or like mindset as a person would. Yeah. To her, I think it's even crazy that she even has like this love and relationships with the sirens. Yeah,
exactly. It definitely explains what she is, totally explains her approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's really cool.
It doesn't justify it though.
Yeah, you're still like,
nothing
okay, please stop.
Yeah, well, it's just like, you can actually love someone and then treat them horribly. And just because you love them doesn't justify that, like, a reason. It's not enough justification for them to stay in a relationship with you.
Yeah, like, you know? In the end, it's like, I'm glad Kaylin's not with her anymore. Even though they love each other.
And to the ocean's credit, like, she was slipping very sharply from toxic to abusive before she redirected, which that's great. At the end, she was like, oh, and the only reason she was like that to begin with was because, like you said, she's like this non-human entity, ancient spirit thing. Yeah. So, like, of course she didn't understand. It's good that when she does finally understand, thanks to her like unheard of love for Kaylin, which, you know, is not a thing she'd super experienced before either. Yeah. Like, that, her love for Kaylin and Kaylin's love for her totally changed the ocean's approach from now on, and like her future treatment of all of her daughters. Yeah. Yeah, it's insanely good. And I think that's a lot of hope for like dysfunctional parent-child relationships. As someone with a dysfunctional, it's not, Mom, I love you. I'm not talking about you. Not talking about you. But I think in my own life and with close friends who've also had issues with their parents, it's never too late to turn things around and to fix things. However, both with child to parent and parent to child, loving someone is not enough to stay.
Yeah.
And being loved by someone is not enough to stay. You can say they treat me really horribly. It's the same for abusive relationships. Like, just because they love you doesn't mean that you should stay.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to get by because, you know, love covers a multitude of sins. That's absolutely true. Mm-hmm. And just because you leave doesn't mean that you don't love them anymore. But it's not a reason. Love is not enough of a reason to stay and continue to explain away someone's treatment of you.
Yeah.
Like Kaylin loved the ocean. She never stopped loving the ocean, even when she was really angry. But she still accepted that that's not, like, she still said this isn't okay, you know? She told the ocean that it wasn't. The ocean was not getting it for a while.
Right.
And it could have totally destroyed them. She literally told the ocean, like, I could hate you. Like, if you keep doing this, I'm going to have no choice to go but to hate you. And the ocean was like, well, I don't want you to hate me. I want you to love me. And so they worked together, and it was pretty insane and traumatic because it's the ocean and it's ancient and crazy and it's a story. But, like, both parties were willing to work on things. And that's all the hope for any strained parent-child relationships out there. If you are both willing to work and you love each other, then yeah, you can fix things. However, if one of you is very toxic and abusive, the love's not enough. Sorry.
Yeah.
One/both of you really have to be willing to work on things and change things.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can choose to love someone or you can choose to be right, and you can't have both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
very true.
that was my big takeaway from this with the ocean.
True.
The ocean was just like, her relationship with Kaylin was like just alarmingly relatable, and also something I've seen in other lives, not just my own. So yeah, that ocean thing was like wild. Watch out for toxic relationships, because her relationship with the ocean in the beginning, this is not just like a couple-y thing. It's true among couples, but it's also true in families. Toxic relationships, which is exactly what you had with the ocean at the beginning, for all the love that was there, totally toxic, totally slipped straight into abusive, and then thank God 180'd at the end.
Yeah, it's honestly, that's why I think that for me the ending is satisfying, because
I agree.
Felt so desperate.
I was totally satisfied with
dire.
the way exactly. I'm totally satisfied and super happy with how the relationship between the ocean and Kaylin ended. Their story, their ending to their story together was just best case scenario. The ocean was like, I was wrong. I can't keep doing this, and made a lasting change. It's great. She totally was able to preserve that relationship. They were able to still love each other. And then the ocean made the ultimate sacrifice of love, which was giving up Kaylin at the end. Yeah. That was really
letting go of what she loved.
Yeah, exactly. I was very proud of the ocean at the end, because I was getting mad the whole time. I was like, you are being like controlling and manipulative. And then I was like, okay, this is abuse now.
Yeah.
And then, which was just for like, I would say just like a little like brief part of the book that it had slipped that far. And then she changed everything, and I was so happy, because it's so hard to see a character that loves someone not know how to not abuse them.
Yeah.
Like, the ocean obviously did not think that she was being abusive or manipulative.
No, I mean, I don't think she'd ever loved anybody like she loved Kaylin.
No.
And I think that she was so desperate to keep her that she was letting herself
exactly.
slip
And
away.
I think that's what happens. Like, love is not the same as control. And
Yeah.
I think it's really hard when you love someone a lot to remember that having control over them is not the same as being loved by or having or loving someone. So,
and that's part of why Kinley and Kaylin are so cute, is because I feel like they're equals.
They're totally equals, yeah.
But
okay, continue.
No, go ahead.
No, it's totally. We're talking about this big deep topic, and what I have to say is not deep. It's totally shallow.
Oh, okay. Well, you can say it.
Kinley gets a bun.
I was hoping you would bring this up so I wouldn't have to.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
As I took my notes, on my page, I have a favorite part, least favorite part, fun facts. You want to know what I put for least favorite part?
The bun.
On page 185, Kinley wears his hair in a bun.
That was going to be my least favorite part.
Do you want to know what my favorite part is?
What?
Sorry, that's on page 165. On page 185, Julie says that he asked to cut his hair. And I approve of that.
Yes, thank God.
So 20 pages later, we can resolve the man bun, but that's what I put for my least favorite.
I know. I was like, Kinley,
I'm just not a fan of man buns.
Please. Me neither. I remember reading
kills
it and
me.
being like, oh, no. No.
It looks unclean, not just on dudes. When I wear my hair in a bun, it's because I didn't wash my hair. It's because it's time to wash my hair.
And I was like, oh my God.
Not that like buns can't be done real cute. They can be when they're intentional. But like the man bun always looks like a girl's hair when she hasn't washed it.
It was
thrown
not
up like that.
a good look for my boy
No,
Kinley.
it
And I know
wasn't.
he's fictional.
I was just starting to warm up to him at that point. And then I was like, disgusting.
I was like, oh, please.
Kaylin, honey, you can do better.
I know. I was like, Kaylin, cut that hair now.
Dude, yeah.
I
was like just starting to relate to how she could feel for him like that. And then the bun came up and I was like, I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, any other characters?
We got all her sisters.
All her sisters.
They're nice. I like them.
Mm-hmm. The artist one is probably my favorite of the sisters.
Yeah,
whose
I like
name
her
I can't.
too.
Starts with an M, I think. I don't remember. Miyaka? Is that what it is? Yeah, that her, Miyaka, I think. That's another one that's like I said in the last episode where I know you like a lot of us have that issue where we read a word on the page and then we read it wrong, we pronounce it wrong out loud. That's another one of the ones where I'm like, I didn't even try.
I know. I'm like, I feel like it's either Miyaka
I'm like M.
or Miyaka.
I read the first letter, which was I was just like, that's
and yeah, exactly.
I don't even try. My brain doesn't even attempt a pronunciation.
Yeah, I like her too. She's cool.
Yeah, she's very cool. I thought she had the most, and she kind of later became to Kaylin what Kaylin was to Aisling and vice versa. So I like to see that transition. That made a lot of sense.
Yeah, it is interesting to think about like just like the generations of Sirens.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, kind of
the newest Siren was problematic.
I'm not remembering everything. Please refresh my memory.
So you know the new Siren who so she came from a abusive family. So there's a couple abusive family things going on in this. Her father tried to drown her. Remember?
Yes.
Because he had a daughter. He was always mad that he'd had a daughter.
Yeah.
And he tried to drown her, which is horrible. And the mom did not protect her. And then they went back and later because she couldn't let it go and it was so traumatic, they went back and killed the parents. Yeah. And here's my problem with that. It's not actually the murder because I can understand that instinct. And I can understand that if you have the power of a siren, like I can totally understand that.
Yeah, she's like powerful now.
Yeah, exactly. I can understand that being an option that you would think of. However, the lumping, this is just hard for me because I've seen it too many times. Lumping the mom in with the dad for not standing up for the kid is a problem because you have to remember that was a person who was also being abused.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but she was also being beaten. And yes, absolutely, she should have stood up for her daughter and done more. But it's a different level of culpability, you know?
Yeah, but I completely agree with you. But I could see why.
I can definitely
Siren,
see it. Mm-hmm.
She would not be able to make that distinction.
100%.
So I don't think that it's necessarily like.
I don't even think that one is more guilty than the other. It's hard to accept from someone who's seen multiple women who have wished that they had handled things differently in an abusive relationship, like wish they'd protected their kids more or wish they had like left or done something and felt like for whatever reason they couldn't, or like staying was the best way to protect their kids. Yeah. Like that's just so hard to separate because I've seen that so much where they think that staying is the best. And maybe in some cases, practically speaking, maybe it is the safest choice to make. I don't know. And they don't go into her background enough to know if that's true or not. That was just my instinctual, oh no. At the same time, I totally see why that siren felt that way. She has not faulted it all on me by that. Hell no.
No, but I agree with you. I mean, I'm definitely not saying that I blame the mom as much or anything. I'm just saying, like, from her perspective.
Oh, no, exactly. From her perspective, I totally see it. I don't blame her. I don't even, which I've probably should. Murder is wrong. I know murder is wrong. I know murder is wrong, but at the same time,
so many murders in this book. Though.
I know, but this one, I know murder is wrong, but at the same time, I have such a hard time faulting them for what they did. Like, yeah, that was horrible. He murdered his daughter and the mom was an accomplice in the sense that she didn't stop him. Yeah, and I don't care what the situation is. If you can stop your child from being murdered, you do. Yeah, whatever else you've done to try and cope thus far, I understand. But you stop your child from being murdered if you can.
Yeah, that should seem like the minimum.
Yeah. Or I think, did she say, it might have been that he knocked her unconscious first, though. I can't remember the detail. There was some detail
Either way,
like
it's
that.
Sad.
Either way is sad. Either way, I don't know that situation, so I can't speak to it personally at all. But it brought up some, like, some patterns I've seen, and I was like, wow, lots of patterns in this book with weird family dysfunction and slash abuse problems. What?
Oh, I don't know. I thought somebody was at the door.
Oh, okay.
I guess we're good. Yes,
but,
completely agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that character, that Siren, who's I can't remember her name. What's the new one's name?
Right?
I think possibly so. She was that sweet girl. She was definitely very tortured soul, and I'm whatever else. Padma.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever else about the murder, all that stuff aside, because I have a hard time sorting through my opinions on that, and nor do I have to, because it's fiction. So
yeah,
that's nice. And I know that I wouldn't murder someone. Yep, probably.
It is a dark book.
It's really dark.
There's a lot of
It's
darkness.
really dark, but I'm so happy that Padma, she seems to be healed after. That's how she's presented. Oh, that's the other thing is logically, practically, and what we know about human nature, I don't think murdering your parents would make you feel better. I don't think it would make you feel better. I think you'd still have a lot of trauma to work through.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I don't think
imagine.
that's, yeah, I don't.
God.
So I like that she feels better after that, but I also had a logical problem with the fact that Padma was like all better after that, because that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Even if your parents, even if you didn't go and murder them, even if best case scenario, they turned everything around, they were like, we are so sorry, we should have never done this, you would still have years and years of trauma and coping mechanisms and things ingrained that don't just go away.
Yeah.
So, and then you'd have the murder of your parents, which is definitely a traumatic incident, on top of all the other trauma. I just don't think that that was a solution. And it could have still been presented as not a solution, as a thing that they did, which was totally understandable, but that didn't solve the problem. Instead, it was weird because it was presented as like, the problem's solved now. And I was like, I don't think it is.
Murder. Don't worry.
Don't worry. Murder solves everyone's problems.
Apparently.
Maybe it's a Siren thing. Maybe I'm not getting, because they're not
They
technically
are
human.
not human. That's true. I bet she'll have a lot to deal with over,
that's what
the
I'm
next
saying.
100 years.
That's what I'm saying. She was, yeah. And I could even see if if it had been Aisling, who'd been a Siren for 100 years and done something like that. They're more detached from death at that point. I don't know. To me, it was just that Padma would all of a sudden be better after that is weird to me.
Yeah, see, I'm just like, I guess I didn't skim that part. I don't remember very well.
That's okay. It might have meant more to me, because I was like, I was having some personal experience with weird family stuff. I was like, I don't think I'd feel better.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt you would.
Yeah, I don't think I'd feel
Murdering,
better.
I'm sure is not.
Murder
not
in
that
itself
I've
is a
murdered
traumatic
anyone,
thing.
but...
I don't. Thank you. I have not either. I'm so glad that should have been the secret that I shared earlier.
Oh, yeah.
That you shared. I haven't murdered anyone. I haven't murdered anyone. It just doesn't seem like I would feel better if I did. I can think of some people who probably deserve to die based on as much as humans can decide that. I can think of some people who I'm like, if a human deserves to die and I get to choose, you'd probably be the top of the list. But I don't think I'd feel any better.
If Ash ever gets siren powers, watch out.
People are just going to start walking into the ocean, and they're going to be like, now I know who she was talking about.
Okay,
now I know these thinly veiled references in her podcast. Just kidding. Anyways, I still think that regardless of the horrible thing that's happened, and I think that many people who've gone through far worse traumas than me, or even the characters in this book, forgiveness is as much of a gift for you as it is for the person you're forgiving. It's not about them at all. I think that actually, I don't think murdering will even do it. You have to forgive the person that hurt you, or it's still on you. It's still going to cling to you. That thing is going to be there forever unless you let it go. Yeah. And you can't just say, I'm just not going to think about it. That's letting it go. I did that. That doesn't let it go. It's still there. You have to really forgive. And it's not a thing you do once either.
Yeah.
You have to, it's an active thing, and you have to keep doing it. And I really think that no matter the trauma, unfortunately, it doesn't make sense. My human logic brain's like, no, kill them is definitely better than forgive them. That's what they deserve. It's not about what they deserve. It's about what you deserve. Mm-hmm. And you deserve to forgive them and move on. And to not have the additional trauma of a murder or whatever other negative coping mechanism you chose. While it's understandable, it's not justifiable, and it's not going to actually make you feel better. And so that was like, my brain could not handle that whole thing with Padma. I was like, I get it, but I don't think it was the right choice. Yeah. But that's people, so I can't,
people are going to make bad decisions.
Yeah. And
especially traumatized people.
For real. And I can never judge a traumatized person for what they've done as a result of their trauma. Yeah. Like, I get it. I totally get it.
On that forgiveness thing, it's kind of like, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of like, what Kaylin does with the like looking up everybody who she's like been responsible for. It's kind of like she can't let them go, but it's also like, I don't know, part of me felt like this is responsible, like she's taking responsibility for them. It's kind of interesting.
It is interesting. It felt like she was honoring them in a way.
Like trying to figure them out, like that's so sad.
This whole book is very dark.
This book is really sad.
It is really sad, and then it ends with amnesia. It is really sad,
but they're gonna be happy. They're gonna live in that house and live in Maine and just like be happy together.
But she won't remember when he like proposed to her basically on the beach inside his grandma. She won't remember that.
That is my favorite part.
That's my favorite part too. That was also my favorite part.
It is so good. Oh my god, wait, let me find it.
I put least favorite part, the ocean, because I love the ocean, but I also hated the ocean.
Exactly.
Oh, no. That's what I put first. And then I scratched it out and in all caps wrote the ending.
Yeah, the ending.
My favorite part is I hate amnesia.
You know what I was crying about? Can we talk about quotes now? Because this is...
Hell yeah, sure. Okay. Who needs order and structure? I actually don't even remember what the structure was. So
I don't either. I just found one of the quotes I wanted to talk about and was
go for it.
The part where Kinley and Kaylin are having like their best day ever, and
that whole day was just
so cute.
And then they had lobster, and I was like, I want lobster. My stomach is legitimately growling right now.
And he was like. She was just like going off in sign language. He was like, just talk. And she was like, okay. And he's like just signing like all this stuff that he doesn't know what she's saying.
Yeah. Oh, the story. When he tells her the story. When she tells the story. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that was magical.
But when she was like, oh my God, sorry.
What?
She's like, she's just like signing. And she's like, some days I don't know what there's left to live for. I try to memorialize the lives I've helped to take, but I'm not sure it does any good. And I try to take care of my sisters, but I don't think that's enough by itself. I don't think anyone could exist for another person for their entire life. And then it says, I pause. Maybe they could, though, if they found the right person. At this moment, I'm considering living for you, but you'd never, ever know. And I was just like crying.
That is so you.
Like, they are so sweet. She's just like so full. They're both like so sad at this point.
Yeah.
They're both depressed for most of the book, to be honest. But like when they're together, there's like this like sweetness.
They're both equally sweet. I think that might also be why I didn't super relate, is because I am probably more salty than I am sweet, as is my husband. So the two people that are more sweet than not together, I was like, I don't get it. I was like, I don't get your connection. It's just too sweet.
They're just
Where's the spice?
Nice to each other. And
yeah,
kind.
they're just nice. What's that about? They're nice to each other.
What? Ew.
Yeah.
And oh my God. They're just very gentle with each other. It made me really happy.
Well, that makes sense.
Wait, where's the part?
Oh, I also put as another favorite part was the salt dresses.
Yes.
I love them. I was like, I want to wear a salt dress for my entire life, every single day.
Yes.
Except that then it falls apart and suddenly you're naked. Like, whoa.
Yikes.
Yikes. Let me see. I had so much to say because my least favorite part was the ocean. Mm-hmm. So I had so much to say about it, and I've already said most of it.
Yeah.
I hope my take on it wasn't totally off the wall and everyone's like, we didn't get that at all.
No, I think that some of that is like, you know, I think everybody kind of understands that. It's just like a really complicated, like kind of messed up relationship.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I think
but it's never too late, and I feel like I was really down about it, but like it's never too late.
They do turn it around at the end.
They do turn it around. The one that was wrong changed, and sometimes one person's wrong and the other one's not. Unfortunately you're not always both equally wrong. Sometimes one of you is more wrong than the other. The ocean was more wrong, infinitely more wrong than Kaylin.
I mean, Kaylin didn't really like do anything.
Yeah, she didn't do anything. See, that's the thing is in this scenario, only one person did the thing that was wrong, but the other one loved them enough.
Yes.
That they listened when she said you're wrong and fixed it. So I'm glad because I think the ocean is a great character.
She's a great character.
Yeah. It's weird because she's also like a child in some senses because she is so new to the idea of like human relationships.
Yeah, she's really interesting. Also, like right when they're kissing and right before she like is like, wow, and like destroys everything. which was, I remember reading it for the first time and just losing my mind. I was like, no, because but they're like kissing and he says, "You brought me back from the dead." And I
Oh
was
my
like,
God. See, you're like, and I'm like, ugh.
I know, I can't
That
get
was
enough.
my reaction. He said, "You brought me back from the dead," and I was like, God, no.
They're so cute.
It's a lot of that in like the selection series. Just tell me it's fine. Ugh.
See, I don't know if you'd like the selection now because
think I would.
Maxon is too sweet for you.
No, I just don't.
America's got some spice. She's like, she's feisty. And
I'm cool. I'm good with
she's
feisty.
great. I love America.
I don't know what to do with the characters that are too sweet.
Maxon is a sweetie pie.
That's your type.
Oh, yeah. That's why I love it. He's the
Sweetie
sweetest
pie.
little boy. And, yeah. But, he's not a pushover. He'll hold his own.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm not saying all sweet people are pushovers.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, he's really nice, but yeah, But, okay, what I love... I think one of the other things I love...
You look so pleased. I have to describe your expression for our listeners, for our 3 or 4 listeners.
Mom, here's what Kendall looks
And those of you who have met, actually all of our listeners at this point, most likely, assuming they're the ones that I pointed out already.
The ones that we followed on Instagram.
Follow us back already, God. Have seen this expression of Kendall's where she puts the tips of her fingers together in a little steeple right underneath her chin, and she smiles just a little bit, and she looks off to the side, and it's both precious and deeply terrifying.
Oh no! I didn't know how to
And she
look.
just did it. And every time she makes this expression, she does the thing where she puts the little steeple fingers together. She looks up to the side and she smiles, and I'm like, something good's about to happen. All right, so go ahead, steeple fingers.
All I was gonna say was one of the things I love about McKinley is that he, as you were saying before, he puts in a lot of the effort because she's not gonna put in the effort.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't even be here.
Yeah.
But he's never like, she's the one who basically, like, on their cute cake date, she just leaves without telling
Oh, yes.
him.
The fact that he never holds that against her.
Never holds
it's
it against
insane.
her. Even when they meet up after 6 months.
I was so stressed out when she washed up on the beach. I was like, he's going to be mad that she never
he's
texted
gonna be
back.
mad.
He's going to be mad.
He's never mad. He's just like, are you
No.
okay? Like, I missed you. I was worried about you. I'm glad you're fine.
So sweet.
Like,
That was what endeared me to him. That was what I was like, I can look past the man bun. because he was so sweet and so loving that he was able to look past that and just assume, like, she must have been going through something.
Yeah.
Which is usually true, I feel like, when someone acts douchey to us, and I could definitely remember this more. When someone's acting like a brat, there probably is a reason in their personal life they're acting like a brat. And we should probably all be a little more forgiving of each other. And he was just naturally like that. And I was like, you are such a better person than me,
he's
Kinley.
he's a
You
good
were
person.
so sweet. He really is.
And then also, after, like, they, like, right before he basically proposed to her, he was like, listen, you have no last name. You never speak. You never get hurt. There is something going on with you. He was like, that either means that you are trouble or you're in trouble. And he's like, so I want to help you. Like,
I know.
He never.
That was so sweet. I feel like now they're like, that bitch is crazy. I really don't love that word, and I don't use it that often except for in like comedic purposes. But I've definitely heard dudes say that, and I've been like, you're not wrong. Like, that person is crazy. Or like, that girl's too much drama. He doesn't think either of those. He's just like, you're clearly in some kind of situation, but I'm gonna be here for you.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, so sweet, Kinley.
He's a good love interest.
And so that scene is actually where my favorite quote came from. I love the imagery in this. My saltwater blood was sparkling through me, and I was more alive than I'd ever been.
Yes.
I was like, cool, saltwater, sparkling blood.
We love all of it.
Yeah, it was amazing. That was my favorite quote for sure. All right, cool. So we're coming up on, I think, about the same time code as our last episode, which
I
means
thought it was going to be shorter.
I know we just have so much to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we got to talk about this book.
Dude,
look at my signed.
Oh, we have to pinkies up it.
Oh yeah, we do.
So we got to rate our pinkies up. Ah, there it is. We'll have to post a picture of it. Spoons here has a signed copy. So we'll post a picture of the signing as well on our
Instagram.
which is That Pretentious Book Club. Our TikTok is also The Pretentious Book Club. Our Patreon, if you want to love us, is
That Pretentious Book Club.
all right. And Spoons, what's our website?
ThatPretentiousBookClub.com.
What's our email?
Contact at ThatPretentiousBookClub.com.
We made it very easy for y'all to get in touch if you have any ideas. If you hate something that you said, if you love something you said.
If you're Kiera Cass and you want to hang out.
If you've seen a mermaid in real life, I would love to hear the story. Or if you have any book ideas that you're like, you just have to read this book.
Yes.
We'll be like, yeah, we'll consider it. We'll take it under advisement.
Yeah.
So now, finally, before we wrap up, how many pinkies do we want to rate this book?
I give the Siren 4 out of 5 pinkies up.
I was also, well, see, this is just going to be boring, so we keep giving the same ratings. I was also going to give the Siren 4 out of 5 pinkies up, but I think I'm going to change it to 3.5 pinkies up.
Okay, that's fair.
So we don't just match, and then also because I'm thinking about the murder thing, and that logically didn't work for me.
Okay.
But I might have maybe I just didn't get to hear enough about Padma's story, her continuing story.
Uh-huh.
But I'm still going to have to give it 3.5 pinkies up, which is still fairly high. Yeah.
Okay, we love it.
We love it. 3.5 pinkies up. Thank you guys for listening. Mom and Leela and Carissa. Was that who I said?
Yeah, and Catherine.
Oh, yeah. And Catherine.
I don't know if any of these people are
And
listening.
Carissa's other Catherine.
Anne of Green Gables stuff going on now.
All right. Well, I don't know what we're going to read next week, but we'll be back again with another episode to entertain, delight, and enrage you.
Yeah.
For now,
Goodbye.
goodbye.